around here.
Yeah, it's part of the process. We pray for development so we
Yeah.
can fight our prayers when they gotta bear patient and work with the work that is going on. But it's good to be here.
Okay. Revin, how is the farm? I want to start off with because I was there what is it, weeks
Weeks ago,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, we went there to see exactly what was happening, and trust me, in the middle of urban Painesville with 40 acres.
Yeah, you got up to like
40
yeah, acres
acres
of
of
lowland.
land,
Yeah.
you cultivating that here. I wanted us to start by telling us, how did you manage to get that up and running?
Yes, it's a good question. So I want to also thanks to you, thanks to the management, thanks to the His Excellency Ambassador Boakai, thanks to the Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Newton. So we bring you greetings from the Community of Hope Agriculture Project CHOP, the Fokker Institution for the System of Rights Intensification. It started in 2008, and I believe the words of the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that in order for any initiative to be sustainable, it must be initiated by the people. So it's one thing for them to say, oh, somebody tells you go make farm. If people tell you to go make farm, that farm can last. But if you yourself start the farming or start any initiative, meaning you created it, you saw it, and you will go for it. So there where the sustainability come from. God first, who is the source of it that give us the strength and the passion in the midst of all the adversity, in the midst of all the challenges since 2008 to keeping on in Zubatan, Duper Road, and across the country in 7 counties
Mm,
over the years as a Liberian initiative. This is not a foreign initiative, but a Liberian initiative that started in Zubatan, have gone to the counties, have gone to Guinea, have gone to Sierra Leone, is now in the region. I mean, it's all God first, to God be the glory. Second, I mean, the passion to change the narratives. You
mm,
know, you see what the conditions are in the wastelands. And I mean, the government have been very instrumental since the former government, Ellen Johnson, George Weah now. We got the title to that land. I mean, it was really horrible in the beginning years. I mean, everybody wanted to quit because you just see darkness everywhere. You don't see any future. Like, when will we arrive? But you went there the last time, just before
mm,
the harvest. So there is really hope in the wastelands, right in the heart of the city, and that sent a message. If you went to Tokyo, if you went to Seoul in South Korea, you see in the heart of the city people using those lowlands. They create their own and they're making it green with agriculture. For us, we turn our own to garbage center where we are wasting garbage into the wastelands, into the lowlands, and people trying to construct in the lowlands, which is against the environmental policy of our country and affects the environment. But
mm,
you saw it for yourself that growing the vegetables, growing the rice, it protects the environment. It's healthy for our environment.
mm. Did you say before the harvest? Because it sounds as if you are harvesting already.
Harvest is going on. There's massive harvest going on. Thanks to
Okay.
the Ministry of Agriculture, thanks to the Star P Project people, thanks to the Jubilee Justice, all of the different stakeholders, Concern Wild World, and the Jaka family, and the different stakeholders were there. We were there on the 22nd. All right, we
Okay,
did it.
that's
Yeah,
last
last week.
Friday.
Yeah, last week Thursday, we
Okay.
we, we did the
Thursday.
harvest.
Okay.
We kick off the harvest.
Okay.
It's massive. We can finish it because it requires a machine to do that kind of harvest.
Mm,
So we're doing it manually. We're trusting God. In the next 3 months, we'll get a machine and to be able to do the harvest, the combined harvest. But manually, we're working with what we have. There's no room to give excuses. I mean, there's no room to give excuses for what we can harvest, what we have planted. So, but it's challenging. Is attributing to some of the post-harvest losses, but the good news is the wheels are turning, and we are harvesting Liberian rice right in the heart of Painesville City, and that's applause.
mm. I heard you also talk about this that it has gone to Guinea and Sierra
Yeah,
Leone. Is it the rice intensification
yeah,
technology?
yeah. So we are
Can you
transferred.
just tell us a little bit about it?
So as a result, because we bring people, so we do few days, and we bring visibility to the work. Liberia, I mean, God has blessed this country. So people have come from Guinea, have come from Sierra Leone, and seen what is happening, and they ask, "Can you transfer this? Can you replicate this in our country. So we got the DG, who is like the head for the Auditor General for the Republic of Guinea, who invited us to go and start it up in Pamala. So right in Folikalia, when you cross the border there, we started it. We run a parlor there, and the parlor came up very successful. The Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, was there for the harvest of the rice, and they saw it. Now it's about scaling up the program in Guinea. So Guinea has bought the idea. So you imagine we are in Liberia helping to transfer technology, innovation across the border, and they are taking ownership. In Sierra Leone, we have talked with the vice president of Sierra Leone. That was a year ago, and he invited and said, we give you thousands of hectares that you can come and cultivate and do the program, because I love Liberian rice, and what we promote in Guinea is I love Guinea rice, I love Sierra Leone rice. And he was so happy when we gave him the rice and said, can you do the same thing for us in our country? So when people think nothing good is coming out of Liberia, it's a wrong thing. Liberians are taking good things out to the neighboring countries, and people are excited about the rice program.
Is this a brainchild of Liberia?
It is.
Okay.
It is. There's this whole idea about branding, this whole thing called I love Liberian rice. I've seen the Nigerians have come and even adopted it. I asked even the Ghanaians and said, we like the way you came up with this. And I said, it's intentional because we want people to take ownership. I mean, there may be many rice out there, but once it is grown in the country, we term it as Liberian rice, as Guinea rice, as Sierra Leone rice. And that way people take ownership. And that's why we want the government to take ownership. And thank God this government has put on her agenda the arrest agenda. The first A, letter A, represents agriculture. And under the agriculture component of this government, it talks about priority crops is rice, and right after rice is cassava, and right after cassava you have maize, and right after maize you have vegetables. So again, if we can feel ourselves we are another country, I mean a country that will be waiting for imported food and waiting for leftover, it means something is wrong.
Okay. I know you as a stakeholder, you will have many opportunities to sit at the table when we talk about the issue of agriculture, when we talk about especially rice, you know, when we sit at when you people sit at the table to talk about it. So I want to know what sometimes, or what will be, if you have not had the opportunity yet, but what will be your recommendation? Where can you look at the president and say, Mr. President, this is where we can start based on my experience, based on my achievement in this field. This is where we can start to achieve more.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. So my message to His Excellency Ambassador Boakai, and when I see him again, is to put this message for, we invite him for the harvest. We want him to come for the harvest. We trust he will still come, and we are trying to go to the second cropping cycle. But the message is, the first thing we want the president of this country to do, if he really means what he says, and I trust he means what he says, but to really action his word concerning the arrest agenda, he should start eating Liberian rice. We should not eat Liberian rice at our national functions. When people come to the executive mansion, they're serving food. One of the food that should be on that table is homegrown food. Liberian rice, potato grain, cassava leaf. I mean, let people know, well, let's be proud of what we have. So the more people eat it, they will love it. The next thing we want this president to do today, I want to bring this in. There is a World Bank sponsored program with the African Development Bank and the Ministry of Agriculture. They are hosting a Sea Summit. And I was at the Sea Summit at Corina Hotel, and I was served as one of the panelists. And right afterwards, I raised up an issue as what kind of food is being served. Is it Liberian rice? They said no. I said no. This is a disservice. You can give us money to grow food, and you can buy that food, and you can eat that food. That's a disservice. And rather, I want to commend the World Bank group that organized that meeting. They placed an order right now that Corina Hotel should provide Liberian rice tomorrow for the workshop. And for me, that's applause. Okay. And I want to commend them. They took the action. All right. So the same thing with the government. We want the government to do that the president, it don't make sense for AFL to be eating imported rice. Let the AFL eat Liberian rice. Let's supply the military AFL, because for me, it's a security issue when they eat imported rice. They should eat homegrown rice. It don't make sense for the inmates to eat imported rice. And Liberian government is spending money on the inmates to feed them. What can we feed them with Liberian rice? These are hanging fruits. that they can start up with. The Ministry of Agriculture, all of our workshop, we appeal to Dr. Newton, Alexander Newton. I mean, that all of the agriculture related workshop, we should eat homegrown food. We can go to agriculture workshop, we're eating imported rice, imported chicken. Then why are we telling people to grow
You
chicken
think this
and grow?
will really help Reverend Bimba?
It will.
Just eating the rice at these functions.
It starts from there. It's the hanging fruit.
Okay.
Charity start at home. And these are key stakeholders. If we start to eat it, then we start to love it. If you're not eating anything, you can love it. Why people love the foreign thing? Because they have gotten used to it. They eat it, they see it. They start to eat Liberian homegrown food, cassava products, eat the poultry products, the fish product grown in Liberia. It's healthy. And that helps to send the message, think Liberia. How do you think Liberia? When you eat Liberia, you got to eat something that related to Liberia to think Liberia. And you got to also to build Liberia, you got to put money in the Liberian farmers. If we are buying imported food, we are putting money in foreign farmers' pockets and making the Liberian farmers to be poor. We are deepening their poverty. And that is the message the Ministry of Commerce need to understand, that we need to work the math around and make sure that we just don't say rice is a priority, but let's make sure that we also start to consume it and start to make sure that it comes to the table. When you come to ELBC doing a function for staff, if they give you guys rice monthly, let that rice be Liberian rice. A lot of entities provide rice. Let's go to Liberian rice and tell us you need it, and we supply it. We are a big network. Different actors in the value chain, they can supply. So that will be my initial message to the president, because he can handle that. His own ministers, he got power over that. They should eat Liberian rice.
Made in dry in the morning will be Liberian
rice.
Okay, but one thing, Reverend Bimba, eating the rice or loving the rice is one thing, but many people come up with whether it's an excuse or fact that our rice is too expensive on the market compared to the imported rice. You know, you find a bag of imported rice will be less than a bag of our own
homegrown
rice. What's the problem?
Good stuff. I understand that. So right now, people on survival mode. People don't eat for quality. People eat for survival, for belly food. But the truth of the matter here is, whatever you are eating that looks cheap is not really cheap. Somebody is paying the difference at the other end to make sure that price is what it is. So again, there where again good governance comes in. Our government has to look at it critically. If they want to get Liberian rice price at a lower price, to say it competes with the imported market price, then they have to step in and soften the ground in some areas to make sure. But you don't expect, the thing is expensive when you do
soften the ground. What do you mean?
I mean, you have to provide agriculture financing. We don't have agriculture financing right now. What we have is macro financing in this country with high interest rate. No farmer going to access microfinance with high collaterals. You're not going to succeed to do farming as a business. So again, the cost of land preparation is one of the highest costs. But the truth of the matter, that cannot be an excuse for it. So that's why you got to start from one point. Let the president start to eat it. Let the minister start to eat it. Let them promote it. Let them talk about it. You know, right now, African share, by the way, African share, because President Bouakai wearing African share, people going for African share. The last time I was pro suit, I mean, I don't call pro, I call pro reach. I'm not in a pro issue because my theological background don't support pro, it support pro reach. All right, God raise you up from the ashes and bring you up to a level. But again, anything the president does, it become a policy.
Sure.
So if the president start to dress the way he dressed, everybody want to dress like that to appease the president. So if the president start to eat Liberian rice openly on this radio, on the television, I can tell you, people will start looking for Liberian rice everywhere and start to eat it and start to emphasize it. So that's how it works, and that how transformation come in every country. And before you make up your mind, the price will become stable. It will become just like the imported price. And at the end of the day, people will go for homegrown rice because it's advantageous with job creation, economic growth, foreign exchange. Where can we go for that? So again, let's go for Liberian rice, domestic homegrown rice, homegrown cassava, homegrown chickens, homegrown fish. It's far better for our economy, for the kind of economic growth, for the vision the president has. How can you think Liberian, you don't eat Liberia? How can you love Liberia when you don't even promote Liberian initiative by bringing it onto your table? How can you say we build Liberia? We can build Liberia with foreign things. We build Liberia with Liberian materials. And Liberian food is one of the food that we energize the workers. And we expect all these corporations in this country to supply homegrown rice to their workers. And we are prepared for that.
Okay, you are prepared for that. He's Reverend That's Reverend Robert Bimba. He is the executive director of the Community of Hope Agriculture Project, and he's our guest on this final segment of the Bumper Show. We're talking about agriculture, especially rice that he's, mostly involved with. I'm hearing about this, certain amount of land,
Okay. Yeah.
that government is currently going after to have the issue of rice planted, to have cassava and all of that on some of these land. You people are always at the table. You know about these things.
Mhm.
What are you hearing about this?
All right. So what we hearing and what is being said is that the government has decided that they would give like 5,000 hectares just on rice across the country. I think they get counted how many hectares in each county, and they're trying to give like I think 3,000 towards cassava, and they're trying to give 2,000 towards maize and 1,000 towards vegetables as a means that should be cultivated. Good stuff. It's good to set the target to say we want 5,000 hectares cultivated across this country with rice. Now, where will it be cultivated, in one location or in several locations? These are all part of the things we need to get the details from the Minister of Agriculture, who is the custodian of that vision, and to make sure where we all fit as value chain actors to say, we are in Maserati. We are fighting to make Maserati a breadbasket by turning wastelands into productive lands. And we see the game changer that the yields in the lowlands are higher and the vegetables in the lowlands have a big potential. And if we can get the government Liberia to stand with us to stop people from misusing and abusing the lowlands and the wastelands by wasting dirt and constructing into the lowlands, we can make Maserati a breadbasket, because just where we are in Painesville, if it is fully cultivated and laid out like we now have from the support from the Ministry of Agriculture to rehabilitate, to develop the lowland, that will start to produce 3 times. Our one cropping cycle can give you up to 70 metric tons of rice. If we go 3 times a year, you times 70 times 3, just from
So,
one
so the
location.
cycle is 3 times a year.
3 times cropping. You
Okay.
can farm 3 times a year. You can grow rice 3 times a year. You get with the system. And
Is it the kind of rice you do, or is for all the variety of rice?
not all the variety of rice, but for the
Mm.
kind of rice promotion that we are on with the Narika, with the red rice and the black rice. So that can help you to go for 3 months. And with 3 months and the innovation with the system of rice intensification, we reduces the cropping cycle and increases the yield. So the big thing in business is, if you put the money into production, you want to have a break even. So if the production cost is higher than the yields you get, you are busy, but you are not doing business. And anybody can be busy, but not being profitable and being and productive. So what we have done with the system of rice intensification is to reduce the production cost and the input cost, increase the yields, and then you can have a break-even point. And now that we have a rice mill, functional rice mill, right in Painesville City, it's a plus for people, for the resident of Painesville. We know the demand is high, but we are working overtime. In the next 3 months, there'll be a new processing facility, rice processing hub, with the support of the Liberian government through the Ministry of Agriculture under one of the Star P project that are going to boost rice right in the city of Painesville. So people in Painesville, good news is coming. More good news is coming for you, that all of you should be eating Liberian rice, because we're going to double the rice production and we're going to make sure that quality Liberian rice is brought to our Painesville market. Charity start at home. If we can feed the whole Liberia, we are committed to feeding Painesville.
You working with people in this sector, Reverend Bimba, I want to know how enthusiastic, right, are these young people when it comes to the issue of not only young people, but people now who would like to say, I want to work in the farming sector, whether it's rice, whether it's cassava, but I'm putting my time into it. Are we seeing a brain drain the sector, or there are more people who are coming up to say, yes, we want to work there?
There are a lot of initiatives over the years. A lot of good things are happening. The sector is becoming attractive. A lot of work need to be done. That's what you are doing on your platform. I mean, people need to talk more about the things that are happening across the country, specifically in the agri sector, to see the number of young people. We run an internship program for university students. We have a lot of interns that have come from the University of Liberia, Agriculture College, and other agriculture colleges here who have just come to learn the basic, the actual thing, because most of them learn in absentia. So just getting hands-on through internship program is very much important. Right now, we got a lot of them who have moved from internship. They have become employers. We have hired them as contractors across the country. They are right now in Riverside, in Lufa County, in Nimba, that are working. The next thing about it is the sector, the way we are. You can go to the few, starting with ours. The way we have, the way you present something, we encourage people to jump inside it.
Okay.
We are making this something. It's a noble job. It's a noble profession. I mean, it's not, you don't have to touch the sword. There's a whole value chain. Either you are a processor, you are an IT person, you are a program person, you are a brand or ambassador. So many ways to promote the sector and to fit in the sector. So right now, more young people are coming to the sector because they see. I was shocked to see the number of young women, I mean, girls, that are right now working at the Zubatan site and across the country. And we are taking them right now, trying to train some of them to drive the truck. So we expect some trucks to come and want to train the women, the young women, to drive the trucks, and we're giving them the courage. The thing in life is to raise people up. The more we tell people, condemning people will not help them. In this time of Easter, we happy Easter to everybody. Jesus said to the woman, neither do I condemn thee, but go and sin no more. There's a way you correct people, you will get the best out of them. You don't correct people to break them down, but you try to, just bring the best out of them so they can do it. Nobody will do it better than Liberians. I mean, we love all the experts coming in the country, but we need to inspire Liberians to take leadership and take ownership of this agricultural transformation agenda. Other than that, whoever that come will not do it the way we would do it. I'm doing it the way I'm doing because I'm a Liberian. I don't have any other country. This is my country. I'm proud eating Liberian rice. I'm proud eating country chicken. I'm proud eating the cassava grown in this country. There is nothing better than homegrown.
Okay. And trust me, I went to the field there the other day and I saw how much you people are doing there. And besides that field, right? Painesville, I've lived in Painesville for some time now, and I know that Painesville has this agrarian land,
Yeah.
And I shared with you the last time that behind your area there, the last time the Dupo Road area, I saw some women coming out of their gardens there with corn
Oh, yeah.
and okra.
Yeah.
I felt, oh yes, something in this sort. But like I asked you the last time also, do you see other areas in Painesville besides the Zuba Town and the Dupo Road area? What are the areas you think if you can reach there, but other investors can reach there and even government can reach there?
I mean, there are several areas. I mean, we talked to the land authority, Honorable Adams. I mean, from the land authority. I mean, we hope to meet with the mayor, Robert Bestman, for the city of Painesville. I mean, there are a lot of areas we have identified in Painesville, even if we're not there, but the program can be replicated. Instead of us building in those swamps and wasting dirt in those swamps, we can turn them into ecotourism centers where people can go and see rice, vegetable, and fish production throughout the year, but making the environment healthy for all of us. And there where the government got to come in, the EPA got to come in. I mean, the honorable director, Yakpa Willow, he had to put his feet down to ensure. I mean, we got the laws, very good laws, but the enforcement is a challenge. Somebody feel that, oh, I made the law, the law can go against me. No, we need to understand right now, the city need to be green. How can we make the city green? We don't make the city green by building in the swamp. We don't make the city green by wasting dirt into the swamp. We make it green when we grow rice, we grow vegetable and grow fish, and it creates jobs. It creates job. Your one house can create job for more than 50%, but the farms in those areas creating job. Right now in Zubatan, more than 50% daily has a or income generating program that they earn from the daily income, the daily work. So just imagine you got several fields in Bannersville, you got it right at the city of Painesville, even around these areas. If we start to put them to work and turn these wastelands into productive lands, it become a place for growing money, for creating jobs, for just building the economy of this country and bringing dignity to people. The way to bring dignity to Liberia is to create the jobs opportunity. When people work for their own money, it's a plus. Free money can take away people respect. People don't respect you when they give you true everything, but when you work for your own money, it's more dignifying. And that's why it was the first thing that God made. When God created men, he gave them job. He did not get a hand out. He gave them job because he wanted them to work for their own thing. And that want to make Adam a
Okay, so I'm sure you following the program, you want to make your contribution. Reverend Robert Bimba, the executive director of the Community of Hope Agriculture Project, is our guest on this last segment. You want to, you are a farmer too, right? Somewhere listening, you have contribution to make. We will allow you to do so. You have your contribution to make as an investor. You want to invest in the agriculture sector and you're listening to the program, government official, you have your own point to make. You can do so on these numbers: 0777 835 862, 0880 You call those numbers, you will be live on the program. We're talking about agriculture, we're talking about especially rice production and how best we can get more of our soil with what we have. So you can call us on those numbers: 0880 or 0877 835 862. Call those numbers and you will be live here. Ask your questions, make your comments or your recommendations. Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. This is Charles G. Deslo. I'm calling from you from Kingsdale.
Welcome, Charles.
Okay. I want to take this time to thank our senior brother in the studio there. I'm the CEO of the National Agriculture Initiative Company.
Okay.
Let me take this time to say thank you very much. For me to hear that Plainville here is they are producing rice here, it's a wonderful applause.
Okay.
All of us. So, CEO, we are with you, and we will support you. And before you go, we want to know for you to call your number so that we can be able to contact you and share our ideas together. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's hear from another person. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Teddy Fayatila, and I'm calling you in Fuya.
Okay.
Let me say thanks to the studio guest. He's my director. I work with the Community of Hope Agriculture Project when it comes to system of rice intensification.
Okay.
And which one he brought in, I was the first champion in Fuya district, and I was taken to Mali for work exchange between farmers of Mali and farmers of Liberia.
Okay.
So it's not all for joke. And this time around, I'll be asking the government to support Community of Hope Agriculture Project because Reverend Bima is not up for joke. He needed, and we want Liberians to grow what they eat and eat what they grow. Thank you so much for the program. Nothing else to say but to continue agriculture process in Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. More callers. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
My name is Septimus Myers Kaikai. I joined you from Fuya.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, what I wanted to say is exactly what my senior brother said. But Reverend, I actually want you to come back like what you have done here.
Reverend, why are you going for you already?
We're coming. We're coming to Fuya.
I went to the office around Nigeria City office. I know exactly that the SED, yes, for seriousness. So please, we are begging you to come back to Fuya. Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. So thank you. We will take more of your calls. But Reverend, I just want to ask this question before we continue. You talk about this value chain, right?
Yeah.
It's from the farm.
Yeah.
As far as it can reach to the table.
Yeah, from seed. It starts from the seed. And that's what the seed summit is on right now. It's a 2-day seed summit going at the Korean Hotel.
Before reaching the table.
Yeah.
So which one of these structures along the way do you think need real strengthening?
So it starts from the seed. Right now, there is no structure in terms of who satisfy the kind of seeds we grow in that country. And everybody bring their own seeds, and sometimes they bring some seeds. So that's what the ongoing summit is going on right now at that place. Seed is very vital. If you don't have good seeds, you can't have good grains. So the seed will determine the quality of the food that we eat. And that is why the government got to pay attention to the seed program and really invest. The Seed Act was passed some years ago, but passing the Seed Act is not enough. Now is to put the body, the functional body, the structure into place. We don't need 4-story buildings to start up, even if it can be 5 persons, 7 persons to start up. Let's start small to have a seed council that satisfies people. But I want to make this correction quickly. So what I got from the Ministry of Agriculture is the Ministry of Agriculture is prioritizing full value chain area. Rice is one. They want to do 50,000 hectares of lowland rice. 50,000. So how long, whether it's for year 1 or year 2, I don't know, but we get the details. But I know we are among that 50,000 hectares of lowland, and Painesville should be one of those areas. Then they want to use out of that, they want to use 20,000 for upland for cassava production, and 20,000 hectares for maize production, and 10,000 hectares for vegetable production. So vegetable, maize, and rice can be grown right in the city of Monrovia and Painesville, right in these wastelands and lowlands, and we would do it better than any other county. And I'm on that campaign to make Mazzarado a breadbasket for rice, vegetable, and maize production. If the government of Liberia can allow us to use the wastelands and turn them into productive lands, we are prepared to do that and to work with the government. It's possible. We have done it. The records are there, and they can help other actors to create more jobs and help the people in the country.
So you are still in flight with this strengthening of
So the
this
areas of
value
strengthening.
chain.
So the areas of strengthening right now, the C is critical, but the land development. The land development is now an everyday cost. It's a one-time cost. If the land is not properly developed, you cannot maximize. You cannot get the kind of use. So if you go to Mali, Mali is the country in West Africa that has the highest yield when it comes to rice. They are getting 8 metric tons to 10 metric tons per hectare. They have the Makala Dam that was developed in Mali. They don't have water. So they have the Makala Dam that was developed as thousands of hectares that has been prepared. So lowland development, the land development, whether it's upland, preparing the land is the highest cost. I see they are putting some service centers coming into place, but that's one of the major areas that we need to pay attention to. Once the land is developed, we can now go to work and produce throughout the year, and we can now do the 3-time cropping cycle. Anything less than 3-time cropping cycle, we're not ready for business. It's a joke. If the government means agriculture is a priority to them, we need to produce rice 3 times in the year. We should be harvesting rice. If we're not harvesting rice 3 times in the year, we're still joking. We're not ready for business.
And that can only happen through
the lowland development until you rehabilitate and develop these lowlands.
Okay, let's hear from somebody who's here. Hello? Hello? Okay, this person left the line. But Reverend, I want us to just come back to that land development that you're talking about, because I'm sure you in the agriculture area will know exactly. But when we talk about land development, maybe for me, what's running through my mind, or how to keep the land fertile, maybe you will need to put in fertilizer and all of that. But is it more than
No, it's clearing the land, creating an irrigation structure. So you need to put irrigation structure. So in the dry season, now you're having climate change. Climate change is having impact. But now we are innovation that we are using. We can work with all the climates. Whether the climate change ain't change, we are in a better position because we're using innovations and edge cutting technology that enable us to plant rice with less water. Even the soil should just be mush. If the soil is just much, we can grow rice. You saw the rice that you saw. That did you see water in the field when you went? There was no water in the field. So without water, less water, you can grow rice and you can maximize more. So land development is a critical aspect that we need to be paid attention to. It's a one-time cost, but it need to be done well, and then people can go in and farm and do throughout the year. Another aspect is to make sure we have the necessary inputs, the equipment, and then you go to the processing facilities, you go to the packaging and the marketing. But we need to pay attention to the seed and pay attention to advisory service. Extension services need to be strengthened. We got to strengthen extension services if we really want to change the narratives in this country.
Talking about institutions like
CARI, the Ministry of Agriculture got the extension service, private sector got to get involved, like what we are doing. We're providing advisory services to 21,750 farmers across the country in 7 counties that we are working in right now, working with people in those localities that is cost effective, and people are willing to pay for some of the services, and we need to go to that level of making advisory service commercial.
Okay. 077-835-862-080-514-096. Call those numbers. You will be live here on the Bumper Show. We're talking to the Executive Director of the Community of Hope Agriculture Project, Reverend Robert Bimba. He is here with us on this final segment of the program. So you can call us and we will take your calls on 077-835-862 and 080514 Let's okay, we just lost that caller, but you can call us on those numbers and you will be live here on the program. I'm thinking about and I want to go back to price.
Price.
Yeah, I want to go back to price. Yes. I don't know currently how much is a bag of maybe from one dealer to
No
another.
deal.
Yeah, is well, I don't know whether there is a fixed price as it is for the imported rice.
I mean, the imported rice, I think is now $16.75 for imported rice. I
Mm.
think that part of the negotiation government made, it was $17 or $18. So that is the price at the moment, workout price to keep it at that level. But a lot of things are work beyond the curtains. But the truth of the matter, then people say, yeah, why can we sell the Liberian rice? It's grown in the country, it should be sold for even $10. We want to sell it for $5, but you gotta do the math. So we're not running charity, we're running businesses. So if you're running a business, you run it to make a profit to sustain it. That even in the absence of a government support, you still run your business.
Mm.
And the way to do it is to make sure you have a break even. And you can have a break even if you don't take into consideration what you put in and what you are getting out. So to get that happening at the moment, it's still some places $20 for the bag of Liberian rice. Some places it's 25. I mean, and then you got different one. If it is the red rice, I mean, which is very, very nutritious, very high price, and most of them are offered diabetes patients. I mean, the truth of the matter here is let's just boost the production, make sure more of the rice come to the market. The pricing would work, it will find its own way along the way. But right now, that should not be our worry. Our worry should be right now, how can we reach out the target? They want 50,000 hectares of lowland cultivated. Very good. How much for year one? How much can I take as chap that we can take out of the 50,000 that they can allocate to all that we can do? I mean, I want to appeal to the minister, Dr. Newton, that look, the thing, Newton, is look, it's an opportunity. We have to be intentional about agriculture. We can make agriculture just talk, but be very, very intentional and be proactive. They want 50,000. How much? Look for people who already doing it, not people who want to do it. Start with those who already engage. All right. Then you give them, then they tell you how much of the 50,000 they're able to consume. We are in Cape Mount, we are in Benduma area right now, we're in the Vakwe area, we're in hard to reach area, and the yields are getting higher in those areas. We're in the Zlatan area in Grand Jide, and we're in Baza right now. We're concerned worldwide with the Irish area. We're in Riversets, we're in those areas in Lofa, and we're trying to get out there, even with the RICOWAS program, the climate rice resilient production, that is a regional program. So let's be intentional
Mm.
and allocate out of the 50,000. How much can each person take to really bring forth the delivery in year one or year two?
You spoke about finance.
Yeah.
Financing,
Access to agriculture financing.
access to agriculture financing has been a challenge for the sector.
Big time.
Many, people working in the sector, whenever you speak to them, they always raise the issue. And the minister, the new minister,
Yeah.
Minister Nuta,
Yeah.
is now contemplating the resurgence of the agriculture bank. You think it's something important? You think it's something that he can put his attention to and it will yield fruit?
I don't know the details of what they want to do with agriculture. Our major campaign is access to agriculture financing.
Okay.
What we know, whether we're coming as a cut, we're coming as a wherever we come, how we come. I mean, the most important, farmers should have access to agriculture financing, which have a very small interest rate, nothing more than 1% or 2%. Anything above that, and payment time is a little bit longer than doing the microfinancing that is happening right now with most of the banks in the country. So for me, it's a welcoming news. The most important thing is we should have access to agriculture financing, and nobody should be denied because you are not from a party. You don't come from no. I mean, once you're a farmer and you meet the requirement, you should have access. Should be no long bureaucracy, because that's how you boost and encourage people to get involved into agriculture. When people can go to banks and just access the financing they need to do their farming as a business. So for me, it's a welcoming news. We don't have the details. In the absence of the detail, I can make more comment. But most importantly, we need access to agriculture fund. And if that is the window the government want to use to make sure we have access to agriculture fund, it's a welcoming news. We wait to see how we can start to apply for that, because we want to scale up what we are doing. We want to
Sure.
make sure we do it free of any influence with any political parties alliance or whatever it is. But as a Liberian, you have that leverage to walk to that bank and access the agricultural financing, and you should be able to do the work.
Okay. We are winding down now. Reverend Bimba, anything maybe finally you came with that we didn't ask you want to close up with?
Yeah, I mean, the most important one to say thanks to you. I mean, again, we want to encourage most of the media houses to pay attention to agriculture related issues. And let's keep the government feet to the fire since agriculture is number one. And let's know since they already told us the 150,000 hectares of lowland for rice, that's a good one. How? Where? I mean, that's how you follow it up and make sure it's done. So we okay, how can we participate in that process? But again, want to see all of you eating Liberian rice. Want to make sure even the banks, I'm getting problem with some banks, and I want to mobilize other actors in the value chain. I mean, these banks are keeping money for people, but they don't even like to buy our products. I mean that's a disservice. And we want to just encourage the banks. We want to encourage MTN and the Orange. I mean, use the Liberian rice and the cassava as some of the awards that you gave for some of your prizes. I mean, these are how people promote in Liberia, love Liberia, build Liberia. You can build Liberia with foreign things. You build Liberia with Liberian things and Liberian in the driving seat. Again, let's connect to join us with the fight against hunger. Join us with the fight against hunger. Let's make sure that at our national programs we have July 26 is coming.
Yeah, sure.
We want to go to that mansion and meet Liberian rice on the table.
Once you know Uncle Ben.
No, I mean, nothing can compete with Liberian rice. When you eat Liberian rice, you live long, you are healthy, you see clear, you are strong to move because it's your own country own. I'm proud of Liberian rice. And as I eat it with the blessings of God, it gave me more courage to do more for my country. So again, we encourage everybody to join the fight against hunger and let the government please the Maputo Declaration. Minimum. The government did where we are 4 million with the agriculture budget. They brought 1 million onto the agriculture budget. The health budget is the highest, all right? At least 100 million. Let's move agriculture budget to something substantial. Because right now, to me, run the Sea Council, there's no money. I mean, the run most of the extension services, there's no money. So we can't depend on donors. It's important donors help us, but our own money into the sector will make a big difference. And want to appeal to the ambassador. We know it's the beginning, but it's not late to make the adjustment and put more money into agriculture because our own money, we can do it the way we want to do it. The donor money sometimes is restricted.
Yeah.
Where can use it, where to intervene.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important that the Liberian government put more into agriculture, support research. Harry got to wake up. It's a sleeping giant. That sleeping giant got to wake up and start to really produce all that we need to get the job done. But the good news is the wheels are turning. We're not where we used to be, and we're not where we want to be, but we are going there, and we are grateful to God for that. Love Liberian rice. When you eat Liberian rice, I gotta get some for you. Yeah,
Yeah, I have some. I have some of the house there, sir.
yeah. We want you to eat it. We want you to support it and
Yeah.
promote it and get it going for.
Okay. All right. Reverend Robert Bimba is the executive director of the Community of Hope Agriculture Project. He's been our guest on this last segment of the program. Reverend, thank you so much for what you do, for what you are doing, and thank you so much for always taking our calls whenever we need you to talk about these things that are affecting our country, especially when it comes to our staple food rights. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's take this one very shortly. We call it a quit on this edition of the program. But let's take this one and we'll be right